Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Election Day is less than a week away, which means Congressman Sempolinski's special term will be coming to a close soon. Our Maggie Hall sat down with the congressman to talk about the upcoming election and his term so far.
Congressman Joe Sempolinski is reaching the halfway mark in his special 4-month term. Today, I had a conversation with the congressman about the upcoming election, his term so far, and democracy itself.
We've been very aggressively active out and about in the community, doing town hall meetings. We made a goal of doing a town hall meeting in every county in the district. We're 8 of 11 done. We'll have 3 more this week.
This upcoming election is a tense one, with people threatening to violently storm poll places to intimidate voters.
I completely denounce any type of political violence from any side. That has to be denounced by every elected official. The people should make a free, open, honest, transparent choice in the election.
While political violence is never acceptable, political discourse is and is part of our nation's history.
Political violence of any nature is completely unacceptable. But if we're talking about people being passionate about the future of their state and passionate about the future of their country and having differences of opinion, well, that's our democratic process.
The congressman stressed that he would recognize the people's choice when it comes to the outcome of the election.
Whoever the people pick will have an orderly transition to that person.
And finally, some reminders from the congressman.
Again, I would remind folks you do once again have a member of Congress, so if you have constituent service issues, please contact our offices. And also, I would encourage everyone to vote.
For information on how you can vote, visit elections.newyork.gov. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
Pennsylvania ballots that are undated or are incorrectly dated will not count for this year's election. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania ruled that voters who submit their vote by mail must date the envelope on the outside of the ballot. Votes that are not dated correctly will be separated and preserved. Almost 1 million ballots have been returned by mail so far in Pennsylvania. Election officials say they're not sure how many of those ballots will be disqualified. New polls show troubling signs for Democrats as they try to hold on to their majority in the House and keep control of the Senate. Madeline Rivera reports from Washington as big names hit the campaign trail.
Good to see you.
With less than a week to go before Election Day, candidates in key races are packing their schedules, making their last pitch to voters. And they're pulling in big names.
We cannot rest on our laurels. We cannot listen to polls, the media, or anything else.
In the battleground state of Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp, who's running for a second term, is getting a boost from fellow Governor Doug Ducey of Arizona. Early Georgia voters are heading to the ballot box at a record pace. At least 1.5 million people have already voted in person, well over the pace at this point in 2018.
People are seeing that the lines are moving quickly. We're not seeing any major issues in any area.
In a warning sign for Democrats, a new poll shows Republicans are more enthusiastic to vote in this year's midterm elections. The GOP standing bolstered by concerns about the economy and inflation. Some projections show Republicans winning control of the Senate with their best pickup chances in Georgia and Nevada.
You see in all of these states beginning a pretty significant shift towards the right.
President Barack Obama.
To underscore the urgency, former President Obama was in Las Vegas on Tuesday, stumping for Nevada Democrats.
The only way to save democracy is if we together fight for it.
Obama is not the only former president campaigning in the closing stretch. Former President Bill Clinton is expected to headline a Get Out the Vote rally for a New York House candidate on Wednesday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
This year's flu season is off to a hot start. New York State is on track to shatter the flu case record. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke with the Chemung County Health Department about why this may be happening.
Flu season has officially been underway for only 2 weeks. But in this short period of time, we've already seen an alarming number of flu cases. At the current rate of infection, New York is projected to hit the state flu case record. Big Fox spoke with Chemung County Public Health Director Peter Buzzetti about how Chemung County is doing so far.
So far in Chemung County, from 9/1 until 11/2, we've had 27 cases of flu. So for that same time period in 2021, we had 2 cases of influenza. So we're up quite a bit from this time last year.
The most recent report from New York State reports 1,500 confirmed flu cases during the second to last week of October. This brings the state total cases to 3,200. New York State typically doesn't get to 3,200 cases until Thanksgiving, which is still 3 weeks away.
You know, this idea about pacing to shatter a record, it may be too early to tell, because so last year, if you look at our flu cases for New York State, it was a double hump graph. So it went way up, then dropped way down, then went way up again. That doesn't happen that often.
While it may be too early to tell if we're going to break the record number of cases, using best practices is the best way to keep yourself and your family safe.
So, my recommendations are the tried and true public health prevention methods. There's the flu vaccine. There's mask use, social distancing, hand washing, and stay home while sick.
Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Chemung County.
With the holiday season approaching, Guthrie Hospitals is offering a vaccine clinic to protect you and your loved ones from illness. On Saturday, November 19th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Tops Plaza in Sayre, Guthrie will offer free vaccinations. The flu, as well as the Moderna and Pfizer COVID vaccines, will be available. Appointments can be made using eGuthrie. Vaccinating pregnant women appears to help protect their newborns from the RSV virus. Pfizer announcing their preliminary results from a phase 3 trial today that a large international study found vaccinating moms-to-be was nearly 82% effective in preventing severe cases of RSV in their newborns. And as those newborns aged, the vaccine continued to protect the kids against serious illness without any signs that it was not safe. Experts say this gives hope that protection from the virus, which fills hospitals each year, is near.
The strategy with RSV vaccine during pregnancy is entirely similar. We would like to protect the mom, but also, importantly, some of that protection will cross the placenta, protect that newborn through the first several months of life before we can start vaccinating the newborn.
More research needs to be done to confirm these findings, as they've not been published in a peer-reviewed medical journal. So the news won't help this year's RSV surge, but it does raise hope something may be available before next fall. A new car wash has opened in Big Flats. The Valet Auto Wash is offering customers a free wash and free use of vacuums through November 6th. The Valet Auto Wash opened in the former Toys R Us building. Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, begins today. Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican holiday during which families welcome back the souls of their loved ones. Families create ofrendas, altars, for their deceased loved ones to honor them and welcome them. These ofrendas often have the deceased's favorite foods, items, or even toys. To learn more about this dedication to the deceased, you can go to dayofthedead.holiday. The New York State Powerball drawing is now up to $1.2 billion. There have been 38 consecutive drawings without a win. This makes it the second largest Powerball jackpot in the last 30 years. Powerball drawings are on every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 10:59 p.m. Your complete forecast is coming up, plus this.
In a matter of decades, scientists say climate change will cause tens of millions of people to leave their homes. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at 2 communities in the U.S. where those threats are already a reality. That's coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
The bright blue skies were abundant across the area as we're getting some very pleasant fall-like sunshine, but note that that sun angle is getting a bit lower and we're seeing less of that daylight. We'll even mention that we have daylight saving time ending this weekend. But what we'll note through the overnight is that more of that fog development again is possible with these calm and comfortable conditions, and this lingering moisture. We're seeing that there is that availability to develop some of that patchy fog that reduces that visibility. So keep yourself aware not only for our Thursday morning, but as well as our Friday morning. Some of that patchy fog development is possible, with low temperatures holding within the 40s, though, as typically this time of the year we start to see these overnight lows stay more consistently near that freezing mark. So we're holding off freezing off some of those ground conditions, but we will note that evidently there's always going to be that change to get us back to those average conditions. But it doesn't look to be taking over just yet. We have more of this pleasant sunshine in store as we see high temperatures flirting with the 70s. We could be dealing with even record potentials over the next few days across the state and just across much of northeastern portions of the states. Now we see that conditions will start to change starting on Saturday, as we are going to bring in some breezy conditions, and that's going to be associated with a frontal system that is going to bring some light rain showers. Not expecting anything significant, just about a few hundredths of an inch, but it's also going to initiate some gradual cooling. Nothing looking overall, again, well below average, no Arctic air taking over, but it is going to get us closer to average by the middle of next week. So as we trend into our Thursday, again, still fog potential through at least that mid-morning. Then we have those brighter skies again into the afternoon, with our highs just flirting with that 70-degree threshold yet again. Now we'll see high temperatures as they climb to those upper 60s. That does bring us about 15 degrees above average. Still have some fairly calm winds on Thursday, under 10 miles per hour. So we see that much of the area even starts to see a few of those 70s pop up, like Corning and Bath. Wayland around 68 degrees, Westfield around 65 degrees. Now heading into that Friday forecast, more of the same. A little bit of some increasing cloud cover ahead of that next system that is going to be working in some shower activity, but we'll see for the most part pretty similar temperatures again on Friday. Now with that frontal passage that's occurring from Saturday into Sunday, we do get wind gusts up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So not blustery gusty conditions, but enough that it is going to be noted to maybe put some hazards in that weekend forecast of some blowing objects and holding on to that ball cap. But conditions calm pretty quickly as we step into next week, as we'll note that temperatures still have the chance to even hit those 70s both Saturday and Sunday. Record potentials there. But as those showers move out, note that we do have those temperatures gradually starting to pull back, as we should be back closer to average as we head into that Wednesday forecast. As overall, as we step into that second week of November, we're still talking about, as well as that bright sunshine in store to pair up with the quiet conditions we've seen this week.
If ongoing climate change persists, resulting in more frequent and stronger natural disasters, officials say devastation could trigger the mass migration of hundreds of millions of people in the not-too-distant future. Jackie Ibanez takes a look at two communities here in the U.S. where climate change is already ruining lives.
Over the next 30 years, natural disasters amplified by climate change are expected to drive roughly 143 million people worldwide out of their homes, according to a recent United Nations report. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, meantime, says coastal sea levels are expected to rise nearly a foot by 2050. Scientists like Jesse Keenan of Tulane University predict the increase will trigger the migration of nearly 50 million Americans.
Heartbreaking just to know that they won't be able to live the life I did when I was a kid, because it won't be here.
But for two communities in the U.S., climate change is already threatening their way of life. Shishmaref is a native Alaskan village home to roughly 600. But increased storms and dwindling sea ice are causing the town to disappear into the ocean. The worsening conditions are also impacting people's ability to hunt for their main sources of food.
As that coastal erosion happens, the villages are getting closer and closer to the ocean, to the point where waves are breaking through the communities.
Meanwhile, in northern New Mexico, members of the Tewa tribe are facing extreme wildfires and drought. Destroying sacred land the tribe has lived and farmed on for thousands of years.
Our grandkids will never see how it was before.
But as these communities try and adapt, scientists say areas like the Northeast and Midwest could be popular regions for Americans to relocate if the effects of climate change worsen.
Possible pilot strikes could lead to a holiday travel nightmare. Short-term rentals are still in demand, and grocery stores are prepping for a high-inflation Thanksgiving. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Airline chaos looming ahead of the busy Thanksgiving travel season as United Airline pilots reject a new contract that includes a 14.5% pay raise. 10,000 United pilots are once again threatening to walk the picket line if their demands are not met. Last year, over 27 million Americans hit the skies during the long Thanksgiving holiday weekend. AAA estimates over 109 million Americans took flights for the December holiday season. Another sign people are still traveling. Airbnb reporting record revenue for the summer quarter. Its profit topped $1 billion for the first time since it went public in 2020. Airbnb's results were driven by higher bookings in cities, more travel to other countries, and longer stays. The vacation rental company says it expects growth to continue in the coming months. It has a backlog of future bookings and says fewer reservations are being canceled. 2019, that's the year Aldi is turning back the clock to for its Thanksgiving Price Rewind promotion. The grocery store chain is matching prices from 3 years ago to help customers struggling to keep up with inflation. And BJ's is giving away free Butterball turkeys to customers who spend $150. The offer is good until Thursday, November 10th. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
Still ahead, it's the #1 cause of cancer-related deaths for both men and women. And with November marking Lung Cancer Awareness Month, health officials are sounding the alarm about the disease. That story coming up. While inflation continues to hit people's wallets, falling supplies of diesel could make things even more challenging. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says demand for diesel is skyrocketing, and the nation currently has less than a 1-month supply at a time. Tom Vicar has more.
Right now, the nation's supply of diesel, less than a month's worth, is at its lowest level in about 14 years overall, and the lowest going into the winter in 40 years. Though refiners are still making diesel, low inventory plus extremely high demand equals consumers pay more. What caused that?
Russia is a major exporter of diesel, and that's being disrupted by the war. And Western Europe is a major user of diesel, and they're having to import even more from us now.
Various forms of diesel are necessities for trucks, trains, ships, jets, and farms worldwide. Add to that millions of American homes that use heating oil all through the late fall, winter, and into the spring. These prices are incredibly hard on shippers. They're incredibly hard on the trucking companies, and they're devastating to independent truckers. But let's face it, at the end of the day, you are paying for it in everything you buy.
Diesel is running the economy.
Bob Ramarino is president of Hayward-based Roadstar Truck and a former president of the California Trucking Association.
Most truckers have in place fuel surcharge agreements with the shippers, but it's never enough. It never covers 100%. And it certainly impacts the consumer, and it impacts inflation.
Diesel prices have increased 33% for November deliveries and are expected to go even higher.
Diesel and inflation, absolutely. Yeah, those are huge issues, especially in the supply chain.
Arizona trucker Michael Norb drives for a company because being an owner-operator is just too hard now.
Diesel prices are astronomical. And what you're getting paid for the load wouldn't even cover half of what you're paying for the diesel.
The American Cancer Society estimates there will be roughly 237,000 new cases of lung cancer reported this year. And during this Lung Cancer Awareness Month, Jackie Ibanez is taking a closer look at the deadliest cancer in America and its impacts.
It's the #1 cause of cancer-related death in both men and women. And with November marking Lung Cancer Awareness Month, health officials are sounding the alarm about the disease. The American Cancer Society estimates more than 130,000 combined deaths this year, citing more women than men will be diagnosed.
In fact, more women will die from lung cancer than breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and uterine cancer combined.
And while smoking is the #1 risk factor, it doesn't guarantee you will develop lung cancer.
about 20% of women who are diagnosed with lung cancer will never have smoked in their lifetime.
Health officials expect cases to decline as fewer people take up smoking and as more people quit.
It's important to try to quit smoking, as it will help lower your risk for lung cancer, other forms of cancer, as well as improve your outcomes on treatment if you are diagnosed with lung cancer, as well as reduce your risk of heart disease, stroke.
Doctors stress the importance of early detection and how it can increase a patient's chances of survival.
If you do currently smoke or have previously quit in the last 15 years, talk to your doctor about a screening CT for lung cancer and see if that's right for you.
Because smoking is linked to lung cancer, doctors say the disease can lead to stigma. Officials say the simplest way to support those diagnosed is to show empathy and kindness.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. Blockbuster is coming back, but not as the nostalgic video store. This time, it's a bar. The new Blockbuster Speakeasy will let customers choose from themed drinks inspired by popular movies from the 90s and 2000s. The bar is located in Los Angeles. Visitors will have a membership card that will serve as a drink ticket, and another perk, you can have food as well. The Blockbuster Speakeasy will open its doors on November 19th for visitors who are 21 or older. You can get tickets early on bucketlisters.com. And you don't even have to rewind any tapes. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.